So yeah, let's start off and see what happens. So you're Joe SF5 against Omega Prime, which is in Silver League. So let's take a look at this. So far, kind of interesting approach, right? Your opponent is going for a good string with the crouching medium punch, standing medium punch, and then he goes for an unsafe sweep. The correct response is to counter sweep. That's interesting. Now let's take a look at what you do here, because the opponent is being super greedy and he's just doing a wake up medium punch, which is incredibly greedy. I'm not sure if you wanted to do a delayed jab or not, but in any case you mistimed it and you got hit, which is actually sad. Your opponent took a big risk there. He should have been punished, but instead you're getting annihilated. Your opponent did not choose the correct combo though, so good anti-air right there. Pay attention to how your opponent woke up with jabs twice already and he's getting away with it for some reason. Don't let that happen. So I'm going to be curious to see what you're going to be doing. Missed anti-air right there. You're being too passive. He's cornering you too easily without you actually applying any kind of pressure. That was an incredibly weird solar plexus. Let's take a look at that again. The moment when you hit him with the EX Fireball, you needed to dash up. I think you could have triple dashed for free there. But instead, you don't really take your... Instead, you walk up and you happen to get a solar plexus because your opponent is waking up buttons like crazy, right? Bad combo, Y end in Donkey Kick when you can Tatsu in this spot. When you have the choice between Tatsu and Donkey Kick, you always go Tatsu because of the Oki. You're missing out on the knockdown game right there. Missed anti-air again. Wow, that was kind of unlucky, and your opponent could have killed you on that in that situation, but he keeps doing the target combo, which is not optimal. I'm not sure if you're using late teching. I could have checked it. Pay attention to how this Ryu player, twice in a row, his first thing that he is doing is dash up. Okay? You could have paid attention to that, and I'm sure in the round before that, or the game before that, he probably did the same thing. Just dash up. Never let your opponent get away with that. What you can do here is just start the round with a crouching medium kick into a buffer Tatsu. And if he dashes up, he's going to get wrecked immediately. And if he doesn't dash up, then you're going to be fine because the buffer will not trigger unless the opponent dashes up right there. That's like a really safe option to make sure your opponent does not dash in your face right at the start of the round. Again, like I don't like the spacing that you're keeping. Like, take a look at this spacing right there, okay? This is actually not bad spacing. You can pay attention to what your opponent is doing. Once again, you can do a crouching medium kick there because your opponent has a habit of using greedy options to get in, right? So if you do a crouching medium kick right there, it stops him from going forward. And take a look at what's happening here. Your opponent chose to do a standing hard kick. So the crouching medium kick would have worked against dash and against this option right there. But you're very uncomfortable apparently with this pressure that your opponent is setting up, which has a lot of holes in it, and instead you back off. I don't like that. Don't back off like that. The person who's backing off in the Ryu mirror match is losing. Keep that in mind. If you want to make sure your opponent is respecting you, then you need to apply the response. And notice how dashing is never safe. If you press buttons and your opponent dashes, he's gonna get wrecked. If you're doing a crouching medium kick and your opponent chooses a standing hard kick, he's gonna get hit. Your opponent is not anti-airing you there, which is good for you. Okay, let's go in. I like that. So now you actually did a medium punch. I'm not sure if you even timed it correctly, but I think you understood right there that your opponent was getting away with too many too many wake up buttons, right? You did that. Then you get a crush counter, which is sad because you could have followed up with the heart kick. Not that easy to do, so I'll let that one slide. But you could have done a lot more damage because you could have done a follow-up Shoryuken as well. But yeah, that's okay. Parry OS? Did you actually OS that? Let me see that input. Let me see that input. Okay, let's take a look at the input right there. Crouching medium punch. Standing medium punch. And then a planked parry, which happens sometimes. That's okay. So yeah, that was actually parry OS. Good job, good job. You even get the proper punish. Well, actually, no, that's not the proper punish. The proper punish is DP. You use Tatsu. I need to make a video about special moves because I see this all the time when people will use special moves in a random way. That every special move has a reason to exist, and you need to understand when to use certain special moves. Tatsu is used in order for you to get pressure on wake up, also known as Oki, right? If you want to get Oki or corner carry, you use Tatsu. If you already have your opponent cornered, you always want to do the most damaging option that, well, in this instance, the most appropriate way to respond would have been with heavy DP. If you really want the extra damage, you can do EX DP as well, but that's not really necessary, or it's usually a waste of meter. So you want to do heavy DP there. Like now that you use Tatsu, you just didn't get the optimal damage, and you're actually in the same situation because you already have the opponent cornered, right? It's just that you just didn't do enough. Like, could have just done more damage. Wow, that was so YOLO. Take a look at that. Never cancel into the target combo without seeing like the crush counter, because like if you just cancel on crush counter, that's actually fairly consistent to do, but like even that is -1, right? So that is already minus, and now you cancel into the hard kick. Now you're in a -18 situation instead. Your opponent could have punished you hard for that. Instead he fails, and you turn it into a mix-up by doing EX DP, which is hilarious. Your opponent wasted a EX meter, by the way, because he tried to V reversal, but instead got EX Fireball. So this situation right there, you just got extremely lucky. Another parry OS. Another, like, he would have been stunned right there. And in fact, if you had done the proper combo twice, he would have been dead. That was a punishable V reversal as well. So this whole situation that is happening right now is completely unnecessary and is just the result of wrong special moves used. This is also something that I've see all the time in Silver League in particular. For some reason, a lot of people don't feel like quick rising. You need to quick rise, otherwise you're giving your opponent a lot of Oki for no reason. Your opponent is even backdashing after that sweep, which is hilariously wrong, by the way. You want to go in, and you're making it so easy for him to pressure you because you don't feel like quick rising. Always quick rise or back roll. And take a look at how close this is going simply because of the wrong special moves used. I like the fact that you're trying to be, well, earlier you tried to be patient with your approaches. You're still patient, I like that. But you're taking a lot of damage for no reason. Why do you get hit by that fireball? Like, it's so unnecessary. Wow, and then you YOLO it. I mean, you have V-trigger to make that safe, but hey, that was risky. Like, that was this entire round is kind of triggering me, to be honest. You need to learn to use DP when you have your opponent cornered. That would have avoided this entire situation. Let's see what happens in the last round. You're backing off and playing the full screen fireball game, which honestly makes no sense, but I'll let that slide and see what happens. You need to time your parries way better. You have 7-frame active window. That's pretty large. so it's not that difficult to get. This, like, take a look at this situation right there, okay? This is one of the classic situations. Like, you have so many frames right there to go in and pressure. Unfortunately, you don't really see it anymore. You could have dashed up after doing the after landing the fireball right there. And I see this all the time as well. Classic mistake. People for some reason don't take their knockdowns and their pressure on knockdown. I think it's because they're afraid to, and they don't know how to pressure properly. I made a tutorial about that. But yeah, don't play the fireball game if you can actually pressure your opponent and they're knocked down. Don't do that. Missed DP opportunity right there again. Big... that was a big combo opportunity missed. The moment you see this situation right there, you already know that the jump in attack is gonna hit. So you need to follow up properly. In this situation, medium Tatsu combo would have been good, because then you would have had corner control. Instead, you're not getting any damage in. It's so funny to see this. Let's see. Are you gonna pop V-trigger now? Sweep V-trigger? Sweep V-trigger. Come on. You're trying to do it. Your opponent missed a good confirm right there. He could have Tatsu'd. Good DP. Come on. You had a confirm there. That was a counter hit combo. I'm not sure if you were aware that was gonna work, but hey, you didn't follow through, unfortunately. This is hilarious as well. Like, take a look at this situation right there. If your opponent, if your opponent uses view reversal, they're in a negative situation. Okay, take a look at that. He's -2 right there. So unless the opponent chooses to do EXDP, you can press a button without any risk. Doing a medium punch in this spot would have been safe. And like, take a look at what the opponent chooses to do here. The opponent does a crouching medium kick, a 7-frame attack after he's -2, which means any 9-frame startup, that any 9-frame move that you could have used right there would have led to a counter hit. If that was me, if that was me, I would have done medium punch, and because the opponent does crouching medium kick, I would have gotten the counter hit, and then you could have counter hit confirmed into sweep. That would have been the proper way to handle the situation. But instead, you're just holding down back because you're not sure about the frame data here. So yeah, now you're in a really rough spot. Wow, your opponent just YOLOing that one. This is a good example of a match that, like, first of all, the matchup was not played properly. You were walking back in a lot of situations where walking forward, or at least preventing the approaches from your opponent, would have been really, really good to use, right? So doing crouching medium kicks to prevent him from dashing in would have been really powerful at the start of the rounds. You missed a lot of melee attacks, so he woke up with buttons, and you didn't get the counter hits on that. That was sad. And wrong special moves. Don't do Tatsu when you have corner control. Always DP. Always DP. It just never makes any sense to use Tatsu there.